Greetings from Toronto, Canada. How are things going?
I'm good. I didn't know you were in Toronto.
I am. I am. Do you
Love
get to come
Toronto.
out, visit us? You got to come visit us some more. It's the weather's finally getting nice, so
I love
expect a visit.
Toronto.
Yeah. Well, we love having you. I mean, we've premiered a lot of your films here. That's for sure. Okay, before we dive into your amazing history of film, because I love your films. You're
Oh,
amazing. I
thank you.
sense I sense a theme with the kinds of films that you choose. The bad guy and the young adult stuff. Like, what is it about these themes, these scripts, these stories that make you want to make them into films?
Wow, that's a good question. Um, maybe redemption. I think
Okay.
might be my my Jewish upbringing. I don't know. I think maybe Tales from Hebrew School.
Oh
You
boy, can
know.
I relate?
I think there's some kind of message in there. Wow, that's a great question.
Just
Yeah,
look at your track record. Like when you even like going back way back to Cruel
yeah, totally.
Intentions, right? And there's that underlying theme. I mean, you do it so well,
Thank
but
you.
there's something that must spark your imagination. Go, yeah, what is this? Like I'm interested.
I do think I always do. I do start from a place of theme when I always like there has to be something going on like that like without love you're doomed. I
Yeah,
do I do take that seriously, even in with cruel intentions and like if you give your heart and in just friends and now that I'm tracking it in my head,
right,
you
right.
know
Even the
you're
after film, like
yeah,
with
no,
that,
it is
all of
they're
it.
all
Yeah,
kind of redemption tales,
right.
you have to that love conquers and depending on where I am in my head, what I'm attracted to,
Mm,
I always like telling that story, you
yeah.
know
Well, you do a
um
good job. I got to tell you, you tackle
yeah.
them very well. And with this latest one, Beautiful Disaster, I really liked it. I love the casting, I love the story and everything. But when you have something that is based on such a popular young adult novel and you decide you're going to adapt it or make it into a film, what kind of pressure is that? Because it already comes with its own fan base. So people are expecting things, I guess.
That is a great question. I mean, it's been such a learning experience because I'm an old macher, and when I did it with Cruel Intentions, it was in the '90s, and
Yeah.
the author was dead for 200 years.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had no, and it was before the age of the internet. There was
Right.
no, I just did it. I took an old novel and I adapted it. And then when I came back to I was off doing TV for years. And then when I got back into features with like Falling in Love and all that, and then I got a call about the after movie, the fan base was already built in.
Right.
Um,
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
with Beautiful Disaster, it was literally I went on Goodreads. Um,
Mm,
I literally was like looking for something to write about, and I went on Goodreads and I found this book because it was at the top of lists, and I kept seeing it, and it was partly ignorance, to be honest with you. It was I was intrigued by this story, not so aware of the fan base, but I was attracted to the material.
right.
It was a novel that was 10 years old. It was buried in what you call turnaround fees over at Warner Brothers, which means it's kind of like you're not going to get it out in this day and age with um, um, the age of streamers. It's too expensive. So
Right.
I took a gamble and I spec'd it. I wrote it on spec, but I wrote it for myself. What attracted me to it, which was a Fight Club. guy
Yeah,
and a girl with a past. I'm like, well, this is kind of intriguing, and it's kind of like, but I didn't want to do it so toxic a story. I have daughters, so I
right.
wasn't
Yeah,
writing for a fan base necessarily. I was writing for myself. Um, um,
interesting. Yeah.
Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. I don't
Huh.
know. We'll have to see. You know, I took the essence of the novel, but I have to write for myself, really. You
Yeah.
know, um, and it's tricky. Adaptation today is tricky because you're up against the age of the limited series. You know, where they have
Yep.
10 hours to tell a story, and we have 90 minutes or 2 hours. So you're never going to make them happy. You try to.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know also too, like I mean you've pretty much hit the jackpot with all your films in terms of the chemistry and the star, the leads working, I mean, oh my
Right.
God, honestly, this one, Virginia and Cole, like they're really, really good together. You never know though as a director, right, Roger? Like you're going to stick two strangers. Now they knew each other. They were friendly. They knew each other from
Yeah.
before, but still, this is they're doing a romantic movie together and all that. So how do you know, like when you get on set for that first day and you get like that sick feeling in the pit of your stomach going, oh God, this
Especially
might not
during,
work, you know?
yeah, you don't. Um, and it's pandemic and all that, you know, it's a
Right.
little tricky. But Dylan, I had the pleasure of working with. I cast him in After
Did
We
I say
Collided.
Cole? I'm sorry. Did I apologize
That's
if I said
okay.
Cole. I don't,
I
I
let
mean,
it
I meant
slide. I was
Dylan.
gonna
I'm so sorry.
let.
Yeah, it just,
Well, they are identical twins.
I know. I
Um,
just, yeah, I apologize
um,
for that. Sorry.
No, that's okay. And he's amazing. You know, he
Yeah.
had that kind of Ryan Reynolds ability where he can improv and he's quick on his feet and he's kind of multi-talented. So I knew he had the goods. And Virginia, we went through the casting process, but we had to do it online because of COVID.
Yeah.
So once we realized she was the girl, the three of us kind of got together and just hung out.
Hmm.
And I could just tell that she had the gravitas to kind of go toe to toe with him.
Right.
She's tough, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and I just watched her stuff. So then when we got there, I kind of I treat these like plays, you know. Once we're there, we workshop it like a play.
Hmm.
So I'm willing to, because I have control as the writer, throw out whatever's not working and rewrite. And that's where I'm not bound by the script,
Right.
which is, that's where I am not, I have to make the best film
Yeah. Well,
and
that's the
not the,
benefit too, being the writer, right? You can do whatever you want, you
yeah,
don't have to
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
you're hurting anybody's feelings. You just do it, I think that's great.
It is, it is, it is. And that's a challenge sometimes with adaptation because there were some stuff from the book that I truly tried to make work, but it doesn't necessarily
Sure.
make the best scene. Where you're trying to make it work and you're like, this doesn't land as well. We have to make the best scene.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And he was very impressive in this, I have to say. Like you could see he put a lot of work into it just for this, the fight scenes and getting in shape for that. And
It's
wow.
tough. Yeah, no, there's a lot of it's timing because he has to cut, he has to stop drinking water and all that for certain scenes, so it's a timing thing and you're in Bulgaria
Yeah.
and, yeah.
Yeah. No, good on them. They worked really, really well. And I recently, I mean, I know Virginia's done a lot of stuff, but I recently watched her in that movie Fall. And I just
It's
was like
amazing.
completely blown away by those two girls. Like that was insane. She did a great
Yeah,
job.
no, she's like she's got the goods. She's like
Yeah.
can do different, and that's the thing with my movies. I don't. I look. I grew up working in a video store, and I always try to
Right.
make it
Oh
hard to
my
like
God, we have
what.
the same background. I did
Oh,
too.
do we? It's like what aisle can you put this movie?
Right.
I don't. It is more of a romantic comedy, but there are
Yeah.
some dramatic moments and some action moments, and you try to give that kind of experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So looking back, when I I always want to go back to Cruel Intentions because it was such an iconic movie. Like it really made an impact on so many people. I know that
Yeah.
you just recently, reunited with some of the cast,
Yep.
and they're also wonderful and really, really they look. But when Roger, when you started making that, like, did you ever imagine that it was going to be the movie that it's become, and that it would,
No, not a clue.
impact so many people even today? Like new people are seeing it all the time because of streaming services and things. It's quite amazing.
It's incredible. It's like happened to another person because it was like, but it's amazing, and we have this musical running all over the world, and
Right.
it's it it's it's great.
Yeah.
Not to be, I often say my obit's written, but
You're so
I
Jewish. I can't even
I
stand it.
know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, right. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's great, and we're all still so close.
Yeah.
We're just great friends, and yeah, you saw like we surprised Sarah on her birthday because
Yes.
we had art done at this art gallery of some of the images. So we all kind of showed up and had lunch, and we're there to support Selma and her
Yeah.
challenges, and
Oh,
we'll always just be there for each other because partly because of this movie.
yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. What Salma got a guy, just what a girl.
She's a
I
she's
hope
she's
she's so
amazing.
strong. It's amazing
Yeah.
to see her. And yeah. So what's next? What's now, are we doing a sequel to this one, or you've shot one?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's we were in post, and then the studio was like, we want to shoot a sequel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you crazy? We haven't. And there was like a novella, but we just kind of I quickly, when we were in post, I kind of went off and did this thing, and we shot it in the Dominican Republic
Nice.
over the fall, and now we're kind of in the process of cutting that right now while we launch this one, and then
Great.
I'm going to do Purim spiels the rest of my life. I think that's it.
That's okay. I'll watch those. I'd be
Right? Yeah. I just did one, and then yeah, and I'm fine doing that.
amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time, Roger. It's been a joy to talk to you. And like I said, the movie's really, really very, very good. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, come visit us in Toronto, like you said,
I love it. I love
Yeah.
Yorkville. I'm
Oh,
there.
yeah. It's still
Yep.
bustling. It's still, the city is great. So I love it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Roger. Take care and
Take
lovely
care,
chatting with
Bonnie.
you. Have a great day.
Yep.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.